Yo, guys. Yeah, man. Fucking happy 10K Bitcoin Day. Jesus Christ, it happened. Dude, it happened. I'm giddy. I had trouble sleeping last night. And I texted the missus when it happened. And, I can't even keep my thoughts kind of coherent here. It's a really exciting time. It's a major milestone here. It's not been weeks we've been waiting. And for some people, maybe. Others it's been, years, couple years. But some people have been waiting now. We're talking a decade plus for this moment. It's crazy to think how some people, they saw this. They saw this coming 10 plus years ago. It's crazy to think. It is a major milestone. And it means much more than just six-figure Bitcoin. It means, I think that belief people have in what Bitcoin can be, I think it's a milestone on it realizing that potential. So it's a really, really big moment, guys. It's nice to actually be able to sit back and appreciate it for a moment. And, man, how freaking high does it go? And how freaking high does it go this cycle? It's pretty damn awesome. It's pretty damn exciting, guys. Anyway, let's get into it. A little late start. I don't know that it'll go late, although Thursday we'll have Jared on here, second half. But I don't know if we're doing 2 hours. I don't know. Well, fuck it. We wing it. We'll do what needs to be done. Christian, good to see you, man. Man, let's get into it. I want to, let me throw on your radar here, too. I've been showing you guys, I've been talking about the Slam Vision Explorers. It's a new beta product that we're launching at Crypto Slam. It's really freaking cool. And digging around this morning, I'm not going to spend much on this. I just want to put it on your radar. I want to make sure you guys are checking into it. Like I go to Crypto Slam IO daily for my temperature check on the NFT market, I've kind of replaced that. I kind of do it at the same time as I'm doing Slam Vision. But I'm finding interesting stuff that stands out in a way it doesn't on, let's say, like a DEX. Because the focus is on active wallets and interactions with contracts, stuff is really standing out, and I'm starting to feel some momentum on certain things, probably before I'm seeing them, again, on those DEXs, maybe on an NFT marketplace. It's worth digging in and exploring. Yeah, I was going to get into a little alpha here. It's just not the time. I want to get to macro crypto. But base.slam.vision, there's ethereum.slam.vision. Easy enough to start with those chains. There's a few more, ApeChain, EDU. But I want to just, again, put it on your radar. We'll spend more time diving into the Slam Vision Explorers so you can kind of put it to use. But there you go. Check into it. Make sure you sign up. We'll spend more time on that over the next days. And I mean days, not weeks. I definitely want to dig into that with you guys. All right, let's get to the macro market here. Shocking to see, again, Bitcoin hitting 100K and then really sitting around and watching how high does it go, right? Where's the ceiling? Because there was two schools of thought here. It's that we hit 100K and it's a massive dump. Massive dump. Sell the news event. And the other thought is you hit 100K and it's off to the races because you've crossed this psychological barrier. And so then how high does it really go? And, some of these great TA guys have got all these different levels where there's shorts and longs. And it's like, what levels are these guys targeting? And and these are I don't know. I follow somebody like Marty Party who's great with TA. At least, hey, he's pretty solid with TA. But what way does it go, man? We pushed right through 100K all the way up to 104, and I think that's pretty telling. What's interesting is I think we now have set up another psychological level, though. When we dip below 100K, what's the reaction to that going to be? Right? You know, it's going to be something we're going to figure out. This is brand new. But yes, at 100K, or I should say below 100K, what does that do? What does that do to people's headspace here? I mean, the sky was falling when we fell to 91K just a week or two ago, right? A week ago. Yeah. First tell the U.S. markets, Christian, it's a good point. U.S. markets wake up, begin trading. And we're renowned for being dump wars. Like we dump. Yeah, dude, 99K feels cheap. It's okay. This is the part I've not gotten used to. 99K feels cheap. Anything under 100 feels cheap. This is a really, really interesting. It's probably worth a much deeper conversation. I'm not used to seeing it look like that. Six figures it doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right. It's so weird. It's so weird. So yeah, that'll take a minute. Okay, hang on. Before when it was in the 90K range, when it was in five figures, did it have the cents at the end or did it not? I can't remember, but it definitely doesn't now. Man, this is a lot of fun. ETH actually, look at that. ETH over 3,900 now too. This is the start of the really special part of the run, right? The banana zone resumes now. And alt season before you know it. And NFT season already started, but NFT season really gets cooking in a pretty special way. Yeah, special time here. Solana 242. Really green. Green across the board other than BNB and Ripple, which were outperforming everything else until just around now. So interesting to see that. Really excited to see ETH hopefully break through 4K today. Is today the day for that? I certainly hope so. We knew it was going to be ETH season, and kind of looks like that's here. People memorializing this awesome occasion here. His everyday. It is. There it is. There it fucking is. It's just so cool. It's just so cool. So cool to see. Donald Trump getting in on this, congratulating the Bitcoiners. You guys. Congratulating you guys on that 100K. If I could text him like I texted my wife last night, I'm like, it's not a congratulations thing. I'm like, it's what is it? It's like I was saying at the start. It's a milestone. And I actually sent her oh God, I'm such a dork. My wife replied, congrats, and I replied, you should read the Bitcoin white paper. And I texted her the Bitcoin white paper. Oh, yikes. Yeah. In hindsight, fucking probably the dumbest thing ever. It doesn't feel like a congratulations thing. It doesn't. But hey, how cool is this? I've never had a McRib. I've heard that there's some like correlation between the McRib being live at McDonald's and it's not gonna be 60K by Christmas. Aaron, get the fuck out with it. Don't you say that. There's a correlation between the price of the McRib and the price of Bitcoin. And go freaking figure. Does somebody have the chart? They do. Go freaking figure. McRib's back officially yesterday. Bitcoin hits 100K yesterday. McRib returns. Boom. What is this? What is that? July. It's always like a winter thing, huh? Like a December thing. Comes back December 21. Here it is, December 24 or 23. Okay, didn't apply last year, but that was different. And then boom, that's freaking awesome. All right, we got the McRib effect. And played out like hey, it's like the moon cycles. Actually, the moon cycle thing's real too. The market started picking back up with the new moon here. Lemon can correct me if I'm wrong. This is cool. You guys seen this video, right? This dude who Bitcoin hit what, $100 or $1,000 in celebrating. It's like a kind of a just a super memorable, like, yeah, just a cool video that's been making the rounds recently. They recreated that magic with Coinbase. Isaac Miller's the guy's name. I want to play it, but yeah, he made a video very much like this. I think when Bitcoin hit $100, and it's fucking magic.
I'm right here watching history be made. Bitcoin is up to $100,000. That's
so
an
cool.
all-time high. I saw it break twice today. It went up to 100,002, and this is the highest it's ever been. It's ridiculous. Look at, we had last
So
trade
cool, man.
2 Bitcoin for $100,000 a piece. It's just amazing to me. I mean, look at this graph. Do you see this graph?
That's fucking awesome. I love that these guys like he's still here. He's still around. I didn't know he was like, active. I kind of assume those early guys go off the grid. And not all of them. Some of them do. Some of them right here still doing their thing, man. Cool to see that. But what the fuck is Peter Schiff's problem? This guy's insane. And I think he's trolling. He's got to be trolling, right? You guys think this? He's got to be trolling. There's no way he can be so constantly fuddy and then so consistently be wrong. And then he never lets off. Here's 5 years ago, Bitcoin never going to hit 100K. And here we are. And now that it's 100K, the argument is that it's like government intervention. It's manipulation. That's why, not because he's wrong. Not because he's wrong. It's the government is manipulating this. Yeah, ironic that Bitcoin only hits 100K by buying off politicians, getting in bed with government. It's fucking insane. Now, he clarifies a little. He's like, intervention may not have been the best term. Bailout, he's saying, accurate. And he's talking about us saying that like Senator Cynthia Lummis and now Donald Trump and others wanting to add Bitcoin as a strategic reserve, like to create a Bitcoin strategic reserve. He's talking about that. What he doesn't get is that was always kind of the conversation, right? That was always the conversation was it's adopted around the world. That's what it looks like. So this guy like kind of like revising history here and a fucking idiot. Actually, this is interesting. I love Ron Paul. So this Robbie Davidson, this is just interesting to me. Ron Paul knows Bitcoin's a good thing. Peter Schiff says he told me the opposite. Huh, that's funny. I'm surprised. I would assume Ron Paul likes Bitcoin, maybe not. But boom, that's the conversation now. How high do we go? How fast does it get there? Saigar, gangster. Love this guy. Saying we get there way sooner than you think, and to there, I'm talking 250K Bitcoin. This is when stuff starts getting, well, hey, I'll tie it into yesterday's conversation. Yesterday I said prices in ordinals and AI agents and all this stuff, it's not going to make sense, right? Now, Bitcoin, it'll always make sense because there's no ceiling to Bitcoin, in my opinion. Like 100 trill market cap is coming for Bitcoin. Fucking bonkers. God, it's just so crazy. The question is, how quick can it, double from here, triple from here, and that's where it's going to take the kind of nation state level adoption. But man, I do think it happens, and I might be revising my price predictions up for this cycle. Before it was maybe 150, and I've maybe thrown around 200 and not been so sure about it. I don't know. I think we might get somewhere kind of silly. And maybe it comes pretty quick. Dude, why? It's a wild number to see here. And hang on. Is this the first time Bitcoin's over 2 trillion? It's got to be, right? I think it's got to be. Absolutely crazy. Guide, we'll talk about Hawk in a quick second here. Yeah, dude. I'm. You know what's funny, dude? Yeah, let me save it because we'll get to that like 30 seconds. That's really quite a big story today. 6 hole. Your intro to Bitcoin. $1,000 psychological barrier in 2017. Bought 10 Bitcoin. Wow. If I went into alts, did well. Gotcha, dude. That's, similar story for most people. You learn trial by fire, right? It's how you learn. And you learn the way, again, most people do. It kind of takes a lot of luck and maybe next level conviction to really hold through. Listening to Tim Pool last night, and he was talking very like a similar story. And man, a different position a lot of us would be in had we held or gotten in early. All right, let me keep this moving again. It was a late start. Jerome Powell, though, calling Bitcoin, likening it to gold, which is an incredible comment. Also, I did hear it's not as bullish as people think, as in that's not what he intended. He just meant it needs to be treated as a commodity. He was comparing it against the dollar, and he's saying it's not a competitor to the dollar. It's a competitor to gold. I don't think the focal point was to mean competitor, though. It was just to say it's a commodity, right? It's not currency. So there you go. Hey, Bitcoin ETFs yesterday, 556 million in inflows. Really solid day for that. On the east side, 167 mil in inflows. Good looking stuff. All right, let's get to our girl, Hawk Tuah. Look, I always want to give the benefit of the doubt. That's me. That's just me. Okay. It was easy to see a mile away that this would not end well. It would not start well either. There's no way. There's no way. These things don't do well. I will say, Iggy Azalea coming in and doing a meme coin was, I don't want to call it luck. I don't want to call it a flash in the pan. Maybe I'll just say that she's different. Clearly, she's different. She's actually grinding her ass off here. I think this girl's a grinder too, though. Let's play the let's go right through it all.
My Hawk meme coin is live.
Okay, here's the problem. And here's where maybe why I shouldn't give her the benefit of the doubt. It's been rumored for a while that she's dropping a meme coin. That shouldn't be surprising. The official announcement of it came last week. Now, there were KOLs out there saying they'd been reached out to. This is going back before the token was officially announced. KOLs out there saying, hey, Hawk Tuah, their team had reached out, asking me to be a paid KOL. And some of them said, no, they replied, no, they weren't going to do it. And then, like Hawk Tuah herself, Haley, whatever, replies back that it's a lie, like they never reached out. Look, I think she just doesn't know what her team's doing. Her team definitely did reach out to these KOLs. There's been shenanigans from the start here. This is how it started and how it ended all at the same time. I don't know if this is the end of that token. I believe she's going to actually stick around and try to build this thing very much like Iggy Azalea. I do. I think she's going to do that. But this is exactly how it went, and it was dirty. It was really, really dirty. Again, you should have expected this with any kind of celeb, if you call her that, any kind of celeb coming into crypto. This is how most of them look. This is not shocking. And I think you asked anybody before token went live how they think it plays out. I bet you they would have drawn this chart for you. They would have just drawn exactly that kind of chart. Dude, everybody. This is bad for her. She's got a really, really interesting opportunity, and she's got a really good, important brand. And I think she's taking a big hit. You got Barstool Sports tweeting about your rug. I mean, the token is a rug. I don't know that it's her doing. She is responsible, but talking about throwing her in jail, that's what people are asking for. People do go to jail for this kind of thing. People go to jail for this stuff. They do. So it's not good. And Bubble Map's chiming in here, and this is what we needed to see. We didn't have these tools, maybe a year plus ago. Maybe we did behind the scenes. In fact, I believe we did. But what we needed to see is behind the scenes what's really happening. This is what's really happening. This is the team itself sniping up, and we're assuming the team. I'll say that. I want to make sure everything's got that little disclaimer of, I think there's a lot more to be revealed. We can see where the money went on chain, where the tokens went on chain, and you can see who did it. And there's a lot of stuff connected to the developer, the wallet, like the team wallet. There's a lot. 99% of the supply in one cluster sniped from the get-go. That happens when people know the contract address early, right? You have a head start. You could say maybe token goes live. Some insider already knows what the address is. They go buy it up super, super cheap. Or the team itself dumps token to drop the price. Then through this other wallet and a whole bunch of wallets, that's when they snipe it. It's absolutely manipulated like that. It is all the time. And it looks like very similar to that is what happened here. It's a really bad look. And it's a really, really dirty looking scheme that happened here. I don't think she knew. That's where I do benefit of the doubt. I don't think she knew at all. I think she put a lot of trust in whatever team was helping her launch. And not everybody here is in for the right reasons. I don't think her team was. I like bold. Is she going to need to talk to a lawyer? Yep. I think so. This is a pretty egregious one. Now, she was on the Spaces last night trying to, clear the air. It also wasn't a good look. This was not a good look, man. I'll play clips of this, but not a good look. CoffeeZilla joined. FaZe Banks joined, and they called her out. I like FaZe because FaZe was a little nicer to her, explaining how it worked, why it was so bad, like what it looks like to people. And I genuinely don't know that she was aware or gets it. You could tell from her reply during this that she gets it and she's not happy. You can get from her replies that she's not happy with her team. She knows they fucked up and they may have done her dirty. Let me play a few minutes of this. You hear CoffeeZilla really going on the offensive against them, and he's right. And I think we hear FaZe in here too. Let's check this out for a minute.
Questions? I'm raising my hand. Hey guys.
What CoffeeZilla?
Hey, this is one of the most miserable, horrible launches I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, then why the fuck are you on?
I've been tracing it on chain for a while. You guys generated over $1 million in fees while y'all's fans got rug pulled. There was snipers, but there was also insider trading directly linked to y'all's creator account. What are you guys doing?
No. That's not true.
That is true. That's a fact.
No, it's not.
Well, it's a fact, and you can see it on chain. So
yeah, we know. We trust me. We were there. We could answer that.
You know about the insider trading?
No, there's no insider trading. That's why we can answer it.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to play this in a second, but to some degree, she gives no fucks. At some point, she just kind of chimes in. She's like, hey, guys, I'm going to bed. I think she's just a paid figurehead. I think it's a team that wants to launch a meme coin. They paid her to be the face of it, to name this thing Hawk, right?
Actual, like,
Hey guys,
income.
I hate to interrupt you, Nick. Hello there. But anywho, I'm going to go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Actual.
This girl. I want to like her. I don't dislike her. I do like her. I don't think it's her fault. But you are responsible for what you put your name on. Just how it works.
Okay, so there's tokens going directly from the main account.
CoffeeZilla, just chill for a second.
And then it's getting sold for $50K. Who is that?
Definitely not us. You think we're doing this for $50K? Yeah, fucking right. Talking to the wrong guy. You're used to these bullshit scammers out here. Not us. Now,
That's what everyone says, by the way.
Listen, doesn't matter. No, I'm not everyone. There was a strategic allocation, right, through a foundation. Every single one of those was signed through a SAFT. The deployer wallet. You've heard of a strategic allocation or a private
How much
sale?
did y'all get doing a pre-sale? How much did y'all make?
It's not that
Selling
we
out
made.
your fans.
So
other
over here,
people
can you give
dump on your fans.
Hold on, CoffeeZilla, take a chill pill, brother.
So
Y'all just rug pulled a bunch of people.
No, there's no rug. We're
I like
here every
CoffeeZilla,
single
man. I
day.
like
There's
him.
no rug pulled, and it's not done by us. Yes, snipers sniped it up to an insane market cap.
No, it's
and
not
dumped
just
it.
snipers.
That was not us. That was listen.
You know that.
Listen, no. I'm telling.
Hang on. I like that, Justin. Stop. I mean, no, but I mean that is how I really feel, though, Justin. That's how I really feel. As in, okay, you guys are right? First off, it is a cash grab. It is. I think Hawk Tuah girl, Haley Welsh, whatever the fuck her name is, I think she's probably a very sweet girl and really good intentions. And if you listen to the whole Spaces, she talks about her intentions, which is, and I like this a lot, by the way, it's very much, and there you go, Telemo. The utility of that is actually, it is stupid, also interesting. It's very much the mother roadmap. It's very much the Iggy Azalea plan. They say in that Spaces, Gravier, good morning, this token's not for you, as in it's not for degens. Of course, they marketed it to degens, but they said, and I don't think it's saving face, and by the way, dirty team, it's not for normal degens, normal traders. This is for her audience. They're going to take this token, and it's why they're holding a bunch of the supply still. They're going to take this token, and they're going to give it to her community through her show and through her, I don't know if she's got a Patreon, but through subscribers. through people who buy her merch, they're going to give rewards via her token to normies. Like, ideally, people who don't own crypto, get them their first ever exposure to crypto. And I like that. Again, this to me makes it closer to Iggy Azalea's mother. Not that she's giving rewards, but that Iggy's integrating that coin into whatever she does. She's got her phone company. It's integrated there. She's got a music festival. You get a discount if you're paying in her coin, stuff like that. So I like it if you follow that roadmap. I like it. That's separate from the whole situation of what happened yesterday, which is clearly scammy shit happened on the team level. And it's just a question of how much is Hawk Tuah girl actually involved in that? How much did she know? How much is she just like not giving a shit and trying to save face? That's what we don't know yet. That's where the benefit of the doubt is. I don't think it's her. I think it's her team. And I don't think that means she's not guilty. I don't think that means she's off the hook. It is her token. She's promoting it as her token. She's on the hook for whatever happens here. And she should have found a better team to work with. That's also on her. Right? That's also on her. Dead, yeah, you'll only catch hell for a few months and you get $1 million. Yeah, dude, exactly, right? If she was involved in scheming to that degree, fuck her, right? Then she deserves anything and everything that's coming. If she thinks the way it was just laid out, this is for my community, this is for growing, she's a crypto fan now, whether that's just smart marketing or she gets it, if she's like going into this innocent and wants to help get people in, then, I don't know, I'm going to say like respect, whatever it is. I still think there's maybe more pure intentions from her. Her team fucked up and her team fucked her over. I want to try to get her on this show. I would love to get her on this show. I bet we could. And we'd ask hard questions like CoffeeZilla's doing. Telemo, yeah, everybody and their grandma creating crypto coin. Dude, and yes, and that should be expected. Like we've been saying for years here, everyone, and I mean this, everyone, you, me, everyone's going to end up having their own coin. Everyone. Like I've always given this scenario. I've got kids. I always picture this scenario where I got a family token and I pay my kids' allowance in our family token and I set up our own little private liquidity pool, right? I give it liquidity. I pay my kids in this. The neighbors, their friends, their families also have a token and they can trade it with their friends like, hey, I want to buy your whatever. I like your Barbie doll. I like your Roblox outfit. I'll give you some of my family token, right? CoffeeZilla's going to eat her up, Telemo. Going to eat her. He's got a video coming soon, which is awesome. Everyone's going to have a token. DGen, happy 100K, man. Gravity thinks she's playing dumb for her own benefit. That's what I don't know. She doesn't strike me as that person. She doesn't strike me as that person at all. Okay, as opposed to, who's the OnlyFans model, guys? Who's the OnlyFans model that's been making news here the past, this week? Sophia something, right? Sophia whatever, right? She strikes me as somebody who is smart and manipulative, where she came out, she said she's a virgin, right? She said she's a virgin, she's a Christian, and she said some other wild stuff, right? She's smart. She's a smart girl. She is just playing that marketing game. Beanie even said, right? Master marketer, right? I don't think Hawk Tuah is that, as in knows the ins and outs of what she's saying and why she's saying it and when she's saying it. There is a degree of that. There you go, Telemo, yes. So Sophia Rain knows exactly what she's doing and saying. Hawk Tuah, I think, sees the opportunity in crypto, both on maybe she gets what we get, like the amazing world-changing tech that's here. Maybe she gets that. I know she gets the financial opportunity. I know she gets that. She's not dumb in that regard, right? She gets how much money you can make in this space. But is she so dialed in to that degree where she's now involved in like this scammy thing that happened? I don't think so. This is all just gut and intuition and whatever. I don't think so. I think she thinks she's doing a good thing and the right thing, and she's going to help get crypto to more people, and of course she will make money from it. I don't think she's helping direct or even knowledgeable that, hey, we're going to snipe 96% of the token and we're going to dump it and this and that and whatever, right? Justin, you ain't wrong there, dude. You dated a preacher's daughter. Closer to God, the more wild and mental. Dude, yeah. My dad was like a preacher too, and like, trust me, like firsthand seen that. Because that's like, we grew up around that. Always went to like private Christian schools, and the kids are wild. The kids are fucking wild. That's an absolute true thing, man. Absolute true thing. Crazy, crazy, crazy. 6-hole, hang on. About what is this about, Peanut? An AI agent and token will be as prevalent as having an yes. In fact, okay. I got to keep moving because we are going to talk AI agents, right? And you're right about that. And that's coming fast and furious. Is in at this point now, having an AI agent, I was even telling someone it's kind of late. Just launching an agent that you can talk to, it's kind of late. Everyone's going to have an agent, like I launched one, because everyone's going to have an agent. And it's going to be more than that. You're going to have dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of different agents. You are. It's the way I said everyone's going to have a meme coin. It's even more extreme with the agents, because your agent's going to have, your agent's going to have a meme coin too. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be so common. It's like saying I have a T-shirt. It's like, well, of course you got a T-shirt. Everyone's going to have agents, many of them. Everyone's going to have tokens, probably many of them.
Telling you the truth.
And y'all make
the creator.
I'm going to see if I got the part where FaZe comes in, because he was good. I liked what he was saying.
Are you guys in Haley Welsh make of that 1.8 million?
It's a foundation that is running this project.
How much does she own of it?
It's a foundation. She owns 0 of the foundation.
So y'all made the money?
Let me find this, because FaZe was great.
Just like on-chain activity and like it's essentially.
Who happen when you're
and that was gonna
like
hey, this is one of the most
some pressures on Twitter, stuff like that.
Okay, here's FaZe. FaZe.
Like, what else can meme coins be, right? And I think what we're trying to do here is target. A little bit of our projects, right? And so for
you guys generated.
It's not a good look, man.
Just do it for one day and
is Haley going to jail, guys?
Like
so who made the money? You haven't answered the question. Who made your?
Is she gonna go to jail? She might.
Basic,
she might.
Kind of.
No, big ass fine, right?
We had the restriction. Like we heard.
I wonder if somebody clipped it. I don't want to go searching through this. I should have jotted down a timestamp.
And being supportive. And yeah, I think that's kind of like a lot of the current.
And then let me pull up a ticker, because maybe one final look at how it's looking right now. And then we'll move on, because we got a lot more to get to.
I don't know, Doc, like, how do you want to do this?
Yeah, go ahead. I just want everyone to be respectful.
Yeah.
But yeah. Listen, this is
you guys
something that means a lot. Go ahead, FaZe.
Oh, here's FaZe. Okay,
appreciate it. I just heard this guy blab about pretty much nothing and repeat the same shit that he said the first time around. You said something about Web 2, people from Web 2, traditional Web 2 entering Web 3 and not being able to see stable, like longevity, like healthy relationship with the rest of the space. I came into crypto in 2018, 2019. And I've never launched a token or a project, and I've done my due diligence to like know what to do, what not to do, and how to keep my fans safe from shit like what just happened. Haley, I'm going to talk to you directly right now, because if you really own 10% of the supply of this token and it's locked up for a year and it's vested over 3 years, you got scammed harder than anybody involved. This 100% was a mismanaged, mislaunched, like this is took what CoffeeZilla said. I would label this a scam as well. It's pretty obvious. Like CoffeeZilla brought up, 97% of the token was bundled into the same cluster, and in layman's terms, that just basically means 97% of all the tokens owned were.
I'll say this too. I think Haley chimes in somewhere around here, and this is where I kind of sense like her how she's feeling about it. And I think, again, from her specifically, I think intentions were good. I think she got fucked over.
Were by related wallets, friends of friends of friends of friends. They were
no, that's not true. It's not true.
Yes, it is true.
False.
Yes, no, it's 100% true.
It's held
You're talking,
back.
brother. Yeah. You're talking about some fucking. What did you say? In the Cayman Islands?
It's how you legally launch these types of things. It's a foundation. But listen. This isn't a bundled scam. This is free tokens that have been held back to be allocated to Haley's biggest fans on her social media, given away for free. This isn't what I think a lot of people are used to here, because the team was not dumping one token. That's not the only tokens that could have been sold. It was that strategic allocation, which is what we were talking about. That 17% that was given to strategically to people outside the United States through SAFs, and tokens that were given to meme coin communities and different communities, and that were there to be claimed. So this is not the team selling 97%. It's not a bundle. It's the tokenomics were published, and we can go through them. Maybe over here you can go through and we can show all the different wallets, by the way, and prove that they were not sold by us. So the bubble map stuff was totally false. It's not what happened. But over here, maybe you can explain the allocation.
Saying the bubble map stuff is false? What the fuck?
And clear up a lot of this, these allegations that are just false.
Yeah, I mean, like in terms of like the distribution to the different wallets and stuff.
I'm gonna move on from
like,
this in a sec. This guy
was done via
I'll show you this.
like we did a private.
This guy was the guy who's talking early on in the space. He was the one that was like really kind of representing this stuff. He's following me. I want to reach out to him and see if I can get him on the show and get Haley on. This guy was directly involved with launching this thing. Maybe he's the one who found the team or whatever. I'd like to get him on and get her on if we can. And grill him. Fucking grill him. All right, let's move on from this. There's a lot to get to, man. There is. I'm sure there's much more coming out of the Hawk Tuah story here. But just, it's bad. This over here account also is the team. This is the team right here. Right? This is the team. They're answering stuff in the next thread. They're trying to explain what they can. None of it answers it. There is definitely some fuckery there. It's so connected to the insider wallets that somebody there knows. Or somebody on the team betrayed the rest of the team. So we'll see. We'll see. But I know a lot of people lost a lot of money there for sure. This, I think, is fake, by the way. But this scenario here, it happened to somebody. It did. This specific example is not even real, but that happened to somebody. Somebody lost a lot of money. Many people lost a lot of money. You saw the chart. This is not good. It's not good. And hats off to freaking Iggy, who really, I think, did it the right way. Vrew, good morning, man. Wild. All right, let's get to the Magic Eden token. This is our big story yesterday. We talked about it a little in the afternoon yesterday. We'll talk about it more today. Henry will be back. I'm curious how you guys did. Magic Eden token's at 4. Fucking beautiful, Justin. Yeah, here you go. So the Magic Eden token claim checker went live yesterday. Not the token itself, not the actual claiming event. That comes next Tuesday. So we're, 5 days away? 5 days away to get this money in people's hand. And I'll say reaction to it is pretty mixed. I'll say this. The fudders are more vocal than the people who won. That's probably a fair way to put it. And maybe rightfully so. Right? Not everybody's happy about this. Yeah, not everybody's happy. So the process, it wasn't the easiest thing. It wasn't the hardest thing. But right in the middle. Go on the website. Good morning, Ronan. You got to go on their website. You got to use their mobile app. You got to relink all your wallets. And Justin, we'll pull up Whales Market and check the price there. The pre-market's trading. This also is going to be trading on Coinbase pre-market if it isn't already. So we'll get a pretty good idea. But really interesting stuff already around volume and price with that ME token. Officially, as of now, the highest 24-hour trading volume in pre-market history. That's huge. That should be an indicator of what we're going to see come to this token when it's actually live next week. Wild. 23 mil ME tokens? Or 23 mil in volume? No, I think it's 23 million tokens. So about 20% of the initial supply has been traded. That's a lot. That's a pretty good amount, man. It's a pretty freaking good amount. And yeah, let's check the price right now. Let me refresh here. Quick disclaimer and heads up here. The link I was showing yesterday on the stream was a malicious site. So it's a reminder, even if I'm showing something on the screen, guys, you got to double check it yourself, right? Don't just follow URLs. I was on whale.market without the S. It was a malicious site. If I clicked to link my wallet, I guess it would have prompted me for my seed phrase. And if I typed it, even if I didn't hit enter, if I typed it, it probably was logging my keystrokes. I would have been fucked. So a heads up. That's just that quick. Make sure you check everything. You are responsible for anything you type and click on and all that stuff. So if you see it on my screen, it does not mean it's legit, okay? I'm not going to steer you wrong purposefully, but I'm going to fuck up too, right? So just a heads up about that. Now, the FUD out there, I don't know if it's warranted. It doesn't matter. People can feel how they want. But a lot of people, like, man, really, really underwhelmed about that drop. And some of those reasons I actually understand. In fact, I've got I'm really happy with my allocation, by the way, but I get it because I think some of my wallets were impacted by what's impacting a lot of other people. Here's somebody showing off all their trades over the years, too. Like, not just recent. This is over years. I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars on Solana trading. And what we're learning is, man, not all trading is considered equal. This stuff's going back years. And your Solana trades, man, just don't count for the same amount. You don't get the same rewards that you do if you're trading on Bitcoin. Ordinals really, really are seeing a big benefit here. Runes traders, big benefit. And mostly because of the fees. I don't know that necessarily you're getting a big old multiplier because of it, but you paid more fees, so you're getting a bigger allocation because of that. This guy's getting 115 ME. It's not a crazy amount. It's not a big amount. But I don't know what their diamonds were. I don't know how many points turned into 115. But that's not an isolated comment here. You're running into guys like Franklin saying he had over 120,000 diamonds. I was in that ballpark, 120, I think. I'm not sure if it was higher because I didn't look at the individual wallets and diamonds. He had 120,000 diamonds when he connected up earlier this year. When he went to go claim, when he went to go do this process, his wallet's not eligible, which is crazy. You would think that's crazy. The same wallet that got you 120,000 diamonds, all of a sudden not eligible. I had this issue. I linked something like 20, 25 wallets yesterday, and out of that, 4 were eligible, even though one of them I linked, like my MetaMask with all my ETH trading, I think had a huge chunk of diamonds. Not eligible. And I didn't know why. I didn't think much of it, but then I start seeing comments like this. And I start being like, man, that does kind of suck, right? That kind of sucks. I mean, I did it earlier this year. I followed the instructions. And all of a sudden, I'm not eligible. Why? And so the reason why, good old Adam reaching out to the ME team here and trying to get the why. Look, they didn't tell us this, but apparently, even if you had a big old diamond allocation, if you didn't trade, if you didn't continue trading on that wallet on Magic Eden, you don't get your claim. They didn't tell us that, man. They didn't. And so me and like all those people had my diamonds, thought it was good. In fact, this is what kind of sucks. I didn't use that wallet again because I started using the Magic Eden wallet. So then I invalidate all my diamonds because I didn't trade in MetaMask anymore. I traded in ME. I don't love that, right? They want people to go to their wallet. I would think that would be rewarded too. I would think I locked in the diamonds I already have allocated, right? Didn't work that way. Cosmos, they probably didn't want sole traders to degen with ME if they owned most of it. That could be. Degen, you got 54 ME with 1,000 diamonds. Yeah, that's not bad, is it? I think that's about the ratio. That's pretty good. Justin, definitely lower diamonds. Yes, they did tweak it. They absolutely did go back and tweak it. I'll tell you this too. I saw a lot of posts like this, and I like these, and this kind of applies to me. Fuck the farmers. ME's for organic peeps. I see posts of people talking about their organic trades, but what I mean by organic is buying and selling stuff, but in between all of that, quite a lot of holding, quite a lot of collecting, and that's probably close to how I trade. I don't farm. I'm not a high volume trader by any means, like not even close. But I think my allocation was kind of decent. And I think they are rewarding that kind of trading. Again, I buy something, I'm usually holding for months and months and months, if not years. And the same kind of applies to runes, and it feels like they were rewarding that more than taking, the same ordinal or NFT and buying it and then selling it an hour later and then buying another in the collection and selling it, right? The wash stuff, the farming. They definitely did something to knock those people back. You traded like a collector, and you definitely seem to either get a better allocation, at the very least get a reasonable allocation. This is pretty fucking reasonable. I think this guy's looking at like a $15,000 as of today's value drop. Let me run these numbers real quick. What was it, like let's say 360. This is a $16,000 allocation. $16,000. That's pretty freaking solid. Now, I'm in the States. I can't claim. I did check my points, though, or my allocation. I'm right around 3,100. That's an $11,000 allocation. Pretty sweet. It's a bummer I can't claim, but again, in the States, you can't do it. Can't do it. Illegal. But again, that's just to give perspective on what kind of activity leads to what, kind of number ballpark of drop. And that's it. Again, real organic trading and collecting whatever definitely seem to get those rewards. So what I haven't seen, again, I find this super interesting. I have not seen many tweets out there. I haven't seen any. I've not seen any life-changing tweets. You know those tweets like we saw with Hyperliquid last week? As in, holy shit, $2 million? I haven't seen any of those. I've seen probably at the most people who are looking to get, I don't know, 200 to 300K, which is a big amount. Those were big accounts. That's basically the most I've seen out there. A few $100,000, which is huge, but it's not life-changing for those guys. I didn't see smaller accounts getting hundreds of thousands, and I didn't see anybody getting in the millions. So we'll see how it plays out, and the biggest thing we're watching for is kind of tied to this. Token price and really valuation, right? What kind of FDV are we looking at for the ME token? And look at that, 370. Basically, you can take that price. I think the supply is $1 billion. A $3.70 token is like I think that's about a $3.7 billion market cap, right? The talk now is how high does that go? When things start getting silly, and it will get silly as we get deep into this bull market, as we get deeper into euphoria, which we are not there yet. We're inching there. I think good old Nifty Q dropped a chart yesterday. We're in the thrilling part of the cycle. I don't think we're in euphoria. We're not yet because people have not realized these gains. But euphoria is going to be coming. And euphoria, to me, probably looks like Magic Eden at about 10 bill, at a 10 bill market cap or so, right? Which means that token's almost a 3x from here. Right? About a 3x. If we hit 10, that's the potential with this coin. It's probably why in Fantasyland, if I claimed, I probably wouldn't want to sell. I think 10 bill could happen. Pure just hopium there. That turns the allocation I got to something like a $30,000 allocation, right? That turns this guy's drop to like a $43,000, $44,000 allocation. I think 10 bill is in play there. Yep, and Vrew, yep, even 5. We even go 5. A $5 billion market cap. Man, puts this at like what? A $25,000 allocation? Pretty fucking great. It's pretty fucking great. So some people are going to make a lot of money. A lot of that money, and this is again next Tuesday, is about to... Dead, even with a VPN, you can't, it's so bad to do. It's so bad to do. You can't do it. A lot of that money is going to work its way into this ecosystem. A lot of this money is going to work its way into ordinals and NFTs and runes, and man, it is good for everybody. So if you didn't get this allocation, still put in your mind that this allocation is going to work its way to you. It's going to work its way to your bags, to your wallet, through your NFT ordinal trading. Good for everybody. Great for everybody. All right, let me hit the NFT market. I want to get to metaverse, and I got the great J Squiggle coming in here. Let me get the man a link. All right, let me hit NFTs. Volume down yesterday, 19 mil in cross-chain sales. Sellers down, buyers down, transactions up. I dig it. And trade profits, $500,000 in the negative. Top collections, it is CryptoPunks on top again, followed by Pudgy Penguins, Guild Guardian Heroes, Based AI. Skip those BRC20s, D-Market, Puppets, OMB, Node Monks, Courtyard, and I will push Quantum Cats into the top 10. And then top sales, man, it's CryptoPunk season. Also great seeing some O'Peppins on the move. We're heating up. We are definitely heating up here. Volume, even though pulling back, man, heating up with just really good premium NFTs on the move. All right, now AI. Gotta talk AI. It hit me yesterday, guys, and this is important. This is really important, guys. This is important for you feeling where the meta is going and knowing what you should be looking for, looking where those opportunities are coming. Guys, the metaverse is coming again. The metaverse is the narrative again. It is. If you've not heard it or felt it yet, I'm telling you, I absolutely do hear it and I do feel it. And I said even just weeks ago, there's the tiniest little chance that NFTs get a really, really, really hot cycle. And I've also said I think the super cycle for NFTs comes when the metaverse comes back around, and that I think that's years off. I've changed my mind on that. Not that the metaverse is going to fuel an NFT run. I've changed my mind that it's a few years off. I think the metaverse conversation is back now. I think the metaverse conversation is back right now, and I think NFTs can really cook because of it. All right, let that marinate for a second. And share your thoughts. Good morning, Barry. Share your thoughts on the metaverse here, because I think the metaverse narrative is here again, and it's going to be huge. Isn't the word. It's going to be materialized in a way we were hoping it would last cycle. It didn't. I think it is this time around. All right, I got Jared here now. I'm going to bring him up. Actually, I want to chat with him a little about this metaverse conversation too. I think it's, man, I think it is here. What's up, J Squiggle? How are you, man?
Dude, I'm living the dream. Thank you for having me back.
Hell yeah, man. It's good to see
I
you.
realized that during the show last week, even though I wanted to join during Thanksgiving, I was on a plane. So my apologies.
Dude, I didn't even ping you because I just assumed, and I was going to either blitz through the show faster or whatever, and I figured you'd reach out. So I just assumed anyways. But yeah, since I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks, dude, first off, how was the holiday? And mental note, we're going to chat metaverse here in a second. I'm really curious your opinion on it, but how was the holiday? And it is great to see you after a couple of weeks.
Dude, it's great to see you too. I will say, I really missed the intro. I think I need the intro one more time just to get hyped up.
This bad boy?
That's the one.
Let's do it proper. Good morning, motherfuckers. Oh my goodness, 10K Bitcoin. Can you believe it?
10K.
How's that? Does that do the trick a little bit?
I'm like hyped. I love it. I'm a propagate maybe a misinformation, but I can't say it's not true, but maybe it is true. The first ever AI generated theme song
is what going to happen?
No, for you. That was yours, right?
Oh shit. It might be, dude. It might be.
I know.
Like, we got AI music out there. Has anybody made AI music to intro their show? I don't know. That might be me.
I think you are. I think you're the first.
I love it, dude. And if not, you literally can just run with a narrative and it becomes that. That's the narrative.
That's what I'm saying. I'm working on this concept of stickiness. So we're going to start propagating this, whether it's a truth or not. It's the first AI generated theme song.
I mean, the cool thing with that is I've always envisioned, and it's turning into this slowly and it will ramp up, but this is going to be a very heavy AI integrated show. Like, I'm going to have a lot of AI generated content. I'm going to have an AI co-host and stuff. Like, all that's going to be happening. So it's fitting. Somehow I want to turn this into an AI show. I do.
It's smart. I think that it's the future and it's incredibly powerful. And those of us playing around with it, to say you've scratched the surface is probably like generous to indicate what your efforts are. I mean, it's very powerful.
Yep. Dude, freaking indeed. Let me think of where we can start or should start. Definitely want to get to art. But let's see. First off, holidays were good. Like, get some time with the family, get some good downtime, I'm hoping.
We traveled to California, but it was like a lot of like boom, 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 boom. It was it's hard to complain. Like, we're big on experiences for our boys, so we were able to slam in a lot of activity. So I'm grateful for that. But man, I needed like a vacation from the vacation.
Yeah, dude, it always works out that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we even so much so that like we were on a 7 a.m. flight out of California, which if any of you have traveled out of California, like the airports suck, so that you have to get there crazy early. Just to get back to do, Thanksgiving with family. I'd love to see it 103.
The number's weird. It takes me a minute to register it, because I've not seen the number look like that before. It's It's cool.
Dude, I had like intuition last night. I was like, I should check the thing. And it was like I checked, it was like 99.8. And I was like, oh my God, we're doing it.
Yeah.
And then I think I went online and I think it was Justin Trimble like posted something. It was like exactly 100K. And I was like, is this for real? And like I went on CoinMarketCap and it was 101 something. And it just kind of like stayed there. And I was like, what is going on? Like, this is incredible.
Everyone's saying it's like, you'll remember that moment. You will. You will. I wish mine was like more like cooler. I was sitting on the couch and I was thinking, I am fucking around quite a bit with like agents now. I was like brainstorming this thing I'm coming up with. And I have Tim Pool on in the background, and they start talking Bitcoin, and I'm like, oh, why they're like? Then they talk about it here and there, but I'm like, why are they talking? And then I hear 100,000, I'm like, yeah, no, we'll get there. And I've been saying I think it's this week, and but then I heard them like, I could see the smiles on their faces and stuff, and I go check. I'm like, it happened! Holy shit! Like it happened, dude. It's wild.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. What's that?
It got you 104, I think, was the peak.
Yeah, I'm a little bit perplexed because it hasn't rocketed. Like it's like, fuck yeah, we broke 100, but it's also not breaking down like, getting bitch slapped back down. So it's like, I mean, just even looking at the chart, like I think that's a very bullish sign. I think it's ready to like for the next leg up. But I was hoping it like crossed with some conviction. But I mean, it's like, kick a gift horse in the mouth. Like we just broke 100K. It's sustaining above it. Like, what do you really want? I mean, I made some plays yesterday. I rotated, not yesterday, the day before. I rotated some stuff around, so in anticipation of some mass euphoria. So
man,
I'm excited.
Oh, so good. I saw a really bullish thing actually. Maybe last night, this morning, and it was talking about when Trump won the election and the euphoria from that. And then you inevitably get a pullback. You usually do. And there might even be a thing historically post-election, whatever happens, then a pullback. It was only like a 10% pullback. And they're like, that's fucking bullish. Like, it's like nothing. So I thought that was cool. All right. I want to chat this for a quick moment, which is, and just before you came, you might have heard, I've been saying for a while now, NFT cycle, obviously we're going to have a cycle. It's going to get pretty darn hot. We'll have an NFT bull run, and we're in it now. By the numbers, we're in it. But I'm like, I don't think we get the NFT super cycle like I was definitely hoping could happen earlier in the year. I'm like, I don't think it's this cycle. Maybe it's next. And it's like, it's metaverses that'll fuel it. Whenever it does come back, that's going to really fuel it. It'll be just like last time around. When we smash those all-time highs and stuff, to me, it's metaverse speculation that drives all the craze again. I'm like, I just think it's too early. But it really hit me last night that metaverse is back. And we see like land sales picking up and stuff. But it hit me that, oh my God, no, metaverse is coming back, and it is coming back immediately because of AI agents. And if you want, I can explain the why because of AI agents, unless you already know. And I will do a little explain just so people, so it clicks. But do you think metaverse is coming back, and do you see agents' role in that?
The short answer is yes. Because I'm trying to think, like I was thinking like 2 steps ahead to like NFTs, and I bifurcate that into 2 different categories, but I think the AI agent, it's something, I don't know, like I think you've been liking them, but I've been doing these like daily thoughts, just like a little short video, a snippet of what I'm thinking.
They're awesome, by the way.
Thank you. And it's like the AI agent is something that's like incredibly powerful, and I don't think people have fully grasped just the full concept of like what this is looking like for everything that's going on. Yeah, there I am. But it's
chat for people.
And I think that to me is like the short answer is yeah. I think the AI agent thing is so incredibly powerful, and the narratives around it are like misunderstood or not even fully comprehended at this point, myself included. I'm not trying to say like, I'm better than thou type thing. I will say that the how those scale and how they create scale in different areas is, I think, very logical. I'm a big believer in the metaverse. I think that like there's too many smart people who function there. Now, what it looks like, that's where I'm not smart enough to tell you what it looks like in its final state, right? Like, but I think that, with 6529 and his open metaverse, I just think that there's something special about it when he creates something that is, in his team, creates something like that is free and allows everybody to get in there. And I think that like the Apple Vision Pro is enough to like shake people up a little bit, but it wasn't convenient enough. And I think that when I saw and again, I'm not saying like everybody's gonna be walking around in metaverses, but I think that there's my mental model around this is an augmented reality is our future. It's a foregone conclusion to me. We just haven't gotten the tech to supplement it. Blockchain is going to play an integral role in being able to track and document all of that. And then I think the land thing is, whether you think it's like Ready Player One, or I'm not like that doomsday-ish around like the real world aspect of it, but I do feel like post-COVID era where like Zoom and online engagement kind of like pulled the older crowd into the electronic engagement, and there's already a Fortnite / Call of Duty younger generation. I mean, that those two games span multiple generations, and to be able to like hang out, I mean, anybody who's even like flirted with either of those two games realizes that like these online communities and whatnot are very logical, and I think that it creates a level of connectivity that is deeper and more intrinsic. Like the IRL stuff, I'm not saying don't do IRL. Like I think it's very meaningful, but like to like hop in a car and go meet somebody at a bar and like maybe by chance find somebody who likes to talk about, I mean, if it's like the Minnesota Vikings or like some football club in the UK, like it's hard to find those, like if you live in wherever, right? Like versus online where you could like, if there's some obscure football club, and football meaning soccer, like from the UK, there's a loyalty group that can like collect, just join in this metaverse. And that I think like strengthens bonds, and I think it creates communities that are just really hard for people to grasp. So I'm a big fan of it. And I think the AI agents, to your point, can learn quicker for some of these environments, and can it really like on like what we're seeing AI agents with like different coins and communities is like they're able to learn at a pace that humans can't and aggregate data in a fashion that's very intuitive. And when you're able to like spin those up and really have them be like community leads and things, I think that it creates for like stronger communities with like deeper foundations. So I'll kind of stop there, but I'm a huge proponent of it. I think it's the future.
I'm with you, and every point they're fucking spot on. And man, you hit on part of why I think the metaverse is a thing now. Why something just clicked. Why I think metaverse is like about to just explode now. It's the way they learn, the fact that you're talking about agents training, and I was thinking yesterday about how they're training. And of course, people can prompt them. You can chat with it. You can also take all kinds of documentation and just upload it directly, and it learns off of that. But then you also have, like in the AI 16Z Discord, you have the arena channel where the bots are just there. The agents are there chatting with each other to like to speed up the conversation, because they're just back and forth and it's chaos in there. I'm like, man, okay, so the bots are just hanging out with each other. They don't care if any person is around. They're hanging with each other. And I'm like, oh my God. They're learning off of text, but in the metaverse, and I already know there are like little metaversey instances that are meant just to have AI there. And I'm like, why would they go there? I'm like, well, they can chat with each other, but they can do that in Discord. And I'm like, but dude, over there, they can learn spatial things. They can look at how things are moving, what body part they're moving, what thing they do, either with their words or the way the agent itself moves. It like influences how the other agent or person, because it'll be both, but how they react, both physically and in that space, but also, verbiage wise. To me, this is the next evolution of agents. It's in the metaverse. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, so then it makes sense why you're going to want to put these agents in a 3D environment. But then I'm thinking, dude, the biggest problem with the metaverse is it was empty. It was empty, and maybe it didn't look so good. And that was a big thing that kept people away. It's like we hop in, we're like, it's cool, I see the potential. It's just so dead. The way we're chatting with AI now, the way we interact with them, we don't care if they're real or not. They're just there, and the fact that they reply and they're pretty good at it now. Dude, that metaverse full of AI agents, there'll be some humans there, but it's going to be so active and so busy. And the humans that go there, again, I'm not going to give a shit if that's a real person or some AI agent. It's going to feel alive to me. It's going to feel very, very alive. And the agents are not going to care either what it looks like. They're not going to disappear when there's not a really cool looking, kind of land that's all decked out with shit. They'll still be there. That to me is what makes it a now thing as far as alive and participants, and kind of like, we've been talking about 80% of trading on chain is going to be from AI agents. Maybe 80% of the metaverse is also just AI agents. So that's what's got me thinking it's here now, because those agents are about to, within weeks, they're about to populate these metaverses, and all of a sudden, boom, metaverse meta.
I think that there's going to be, and I think the blockchain will be able to do this. Like, you're going to have some sort of like roll up or like some verification that you're actually human, and whether it's like a different colored dot next to your name or something. I think that there's going to be something that like differentiates people, because I don't know if you feel this way, but like I can start to tell when somebody's run something through Chat GPT,
Oh,
right? Like,
God, yes, easily now.
right, like I've gotten linguistically to the point where I'm like, oh, like that's cool. Or like even when I do it, I'm like, oh, this sounds a little too Chat GPT-ish. Like, let me put my twist on it, right? So I think that like in these, if you have all these agents running around, I think it would be nice to be able to like engage with it. And that it reminds me of like, I mean, even what you're doing kind of reminds me of like old school Zelda, right? Like you have these like agents that you'll be able to interact with, but I think that like on occasion, like being able to have like human sorry, last bits of being sick, I couldn't get to the mute button fast enough. The I think like the actual human interaction is going to create like almost like another level of engagement. But yeah, I think for the people who don't want to interact with humans, you go in. These agents are going to be perfect. Those who do, like, you'll be able to like instinctively, because my concern is like if everybody's training it like in off of one another, they're all going to have similar mannerisms, and there's going to be a little bit of homogeny along the way, and it's a matter of like being able to like differentiate that to some degree. And I think the person who succeeds is the one who can create like diversity within the agents and train them in a way that feels unique.
Yeah. That's where it'll come out to, okay, it's going to get watered down, so many agents, but the good ones are really going to separate. And the good ones are where people are going to want to flock to. And the good ones, if people are flocking to it, is where you're probably going to find some of those nice opportunities that we're always looking for. So I'm thinking about these metaverses, and whether it's a brand new metaverse, like we're looking at this one now being built by an AI dev, all of a sudden there's a new opportunity for new land sales that people are going to want to chase. If, let's say, Cerebro happens to live in this one, this is where you go to hang out with Cerebro. Well, all of a sudden, someone's going to want to throw, like, let's not even play big money yet. People are going to want to throw, let's say they charge 0.05 ETH for a plot of land next to Cerebro. Do you think everybody's going to go chase it? Because I kind of do. Yeah. The price is right, and you hang out next to the Cerebro, I'm probably going to chase it for cheap. And then all of a sudden, things can get silly from there. But then I look at, okay, so land's the opportunity like last time. But what about like the wearables? What if Cerebro or another hot agent that is more into the speculative side of NFTs starts doing wearables that it's wearing, and just like, a Michael Jordan jersey, Cerebro has got his clothes he wears and he wants to sell that, which is the one he was actually wearing, and we know on chain that it is. All of a sudden, I think you kick off this wearables market and the voxels, like avatar market, and again the land, but also what you decorate your area with. I think that gets kicked into high gear again just because of this. It's to me just, it follows the same pattern as last time, but it's like, what's driving it? Who are the rock stars of this that people are going to want to follow? Who's the influencers? It's the agents, and this is where they're going to be living.
And I think that, I mean, you know this happens, right? Like Call of Duty, the person with like the cool gun camo or the like certain things, like it's already there. And I think that like the last cycle told you, like when Snoop Dogg bought a plot of land in Sandbox or whatever it was, like people wanted to be close. Like, I mean, this is like in theory a unlimited space. It's not like a hard constraint like in the physical world where you only have so much beachfront property or so much this. Like, it's really going to be about like adjacency, as you talk about. And I think there's a really interesting, it's something I'm really fascinated with right now, but like the adjacency and the ability to create community over something that's like not particularly scarce, right? Like, or exclusivity, and like whatever in this particular agent, if there's like their core land, but like the first ring is their core group, and then the second ring outside of that are like the adjacents, you're going to start to see communities built. I mean, it's exactly what like Bored Apes are, core community. Mutant Apes, the ones adjacent. Then you get the kennel and the land and the blah. Like, it makes a lot of sense to me. It's very intuitive. I do think that the wearables, especially when it's I'll say blockchain verified, if you want to call it NFT or whatever, it becomes a no-brainer. I think that like most people don't realize this, but I think there's like crypto voxels, like there's X copy, like on-chain variable, like X copy created wearables that are very,
the
very
NFT
limited.
boxes stuff. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
really cool.
But like people haven't like fully discovered it. And I think that there's, similar to early X copy art, there's going to be some like really unique treasures, and those willing to do a deep dive into the metaverse wearables and stuff. It's going to be pretty impressive.
What was that wearable? Is it wrecked something?
I mean, there was a couple of them. There's like some really limited stuff. I forget everything, but there was like I think like a visor and there was the wrecked one. I mean, there's a lot of not a lot of it. There's more pieces than meets the eye. You have to kind of like go down this like X copy rabbit hole to see it. It's something that I've like thought about as like a flyer. I feel like it's again, not financial advice. I'm not doing it, but I am looking at it to be able to say like, hey, what's out there that maybe people don't know that could be relevant in 5-10 years.
Yep, smart. But I'm just peeking at OpenSea's trending. Funny, I'm on OpenSea, and also funny, I'm really getting bullish on OpenSea's token drop because they got a chance to really steal some Magic Eden Thunder. If people are not happy with that allocation, OpenSea could win some people back over. Sandbox and some kind of Sandbox pass or something, whatever that is, both trending on OpenSea. So clearly the metaverse land thing is kind of coming back, and maybe doors blown wide open here soon, just in general in the metaverse. And then finally kind of in the AI stuff and how prevalent it'll be and whatever. This just makes sense that agents will start launching NFTs. And this kind of goes, I mean, there's a tie in here. Basically, you with your NFT can launch an agent, and I think of your NFT. And I picture one day it launches an actual like 3D model avatar of it too, but they're going to be everywhere, and people are going to plug these right into these metaverses, and oh god, it's just going to get so fun.
Well, I think this is where like the PFP becomes very powerful, and you'll see that meta come back is when you're able to like have a verified, almost like the equivalent of like a verified Twitter check of like, I own this asset, I am this ape, I am this punk. Like that's where shit's going to get like really crazy. Is like not only when your online identity is like X, but when your online identity is like anything within this metaverse, whether you're sitting in a board meeting or cruising around in different lands, like it's I think a very, very underrated aspect of things.
I love it. This will be a nice little segue into art, and I probably have not as long as normal. I don't know if I have a full hour, so just a heads up. Or 30 minutes from now. I don't think I got maybe 15 minutes, I think. This kind of ties into metaverse, and again, our segue to art. Jerome Powell giving some great advice here, right? Banana zone equals more profit equals higher art prices in ETH terms. Kind of reading it the right way, I hope. In exponential money terms, okay, that part's awesome. I agree. It's talking about kind of appreciating art, value of it appreciating as this market's going up. The tie in there to metaverse is what Punk6529 has said, that it always struck me, it stayed with me, and I love it. He said, I think it's like, I was going to say art, it's memes. Memes are land. Memes are like land in the metaverse, something like that. It was like, and I should find the exact quote, but I got it. It's more like that the memes and putting them in the metaverse. The memes get maybe traction, it gets the attention, it brings the eyeballs, that kind of stuff. And I always pictured even that in a physical way. I always pictured putting these one pieces of art in the metaverse brings foot traffic in a way, right? And so I always looked at that as, man, those art pieces, wherever they're displayed, is as valuable as any nice plot of land. There's some interesting tie in there, and I'll find that quote and we'll bring that up another time. But I guess now to segue to art, shit's looking pretty awesome. I'm kind of curious what's been going on the past couple of weeks and how you're feeling about the art market. And thank you for the Botto heads up in your daily video yesterday.
Dude, before I answer your first question, Botto to me just makes a ton of sense. And for those who aren't familiar, Botto's an autonomous artist. It's a project. It's really, really cool. But they have a token that and it's a DAO, and I believe in the token is part of their governance. And I don't quote me on the exact numbers, but for every sale they have, they take half of the ETH and they convert it into Botto and burn it. So it's got this really crazy long-term deflationary mechanism behind it that I find particularly fascinating right now. Almost like the more successful the art, the more token that gets burned, which, if there's demand, creates like higher prices. It's a really interesting dynamic that I think plays out on the long term. So super, super fascinated with this.
I dig it. I bought a little yesterday, and I don't have enough. And Botto's another thing we should do a deep dive at some point, because it's a special one, like historic. That word that's thrown around so much actually is.
It's something I'm extremely fascinated with. I'm wrapping my head around a concept of like a AI holy trinity. Derek Edwards has this concept of squiggles, punks, autoglyphs as his holy trinity for art. I'm not going to steal it, but like I've been a really big brain within the AI space, and I met up with him in the Bay Area, and we had like a 4-hour chat over like a bunch of stuff, and it was like, I don't know, like there's something special about Botto.
Yeah,
I feel underexposed. I'll put it that way.
Okay, yeah,
and I don't like it when I feel that way. Like I have a ton of squiggles, and I feel underexposed, right? Like I have, I actually had this like with a line draw. I was buying them at like 0.1 to 0.17, and I was like, I remember being on a vacation with my son, and we were like buying them, and I was like, God, I'm so stupid. Like, why do I keep buying these things? But I just felt underexposed, and it ends up being the right place. So at least as of today. So I have that same intuition around Botto right now, and it's not a good feeling.
It's the worst, because that just pushes you towards FOMOing into something. It gets you a little like out of your game plan, kind of, right?
Yeah.
By the way, Marty keeps shouting out ICXN. I think I'm reading that right on Art Blocks. I am definitely following along this new series of drops they're doing, which is
that was the X copy drop, I think, on the Art Blocks engine. So it's not technically part of the curated.
Right.
But yeah, it's the X copy one. It's pretty dope.
That is cool, and I do think that's, at least last I saw it, undervalued. For an X copy, the price didn't make sense, and also I think maybe that's different even as the past few days. I just haven't looked, but that is a special drop. I was telling people it's probably a nice opportunity. It probably is, because I saw it at like 2.9 ETH, maybe 3 ETH, and I'm like, for the 500 edition X copy is first Art Blocks engine powered generative art drop. Like that ain't gonna be there for long.
Yeah, I mean it's up to 3.1. It was down in the ones. And
that's free money.
Yeah, I've been watching it. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot, like, just like anything else. Like as you go into a bowl, to go back to Raoul Paul's thing is like, I'm actually looking at anybody who tracks my public wallets, both from my public and a non-wallets for the fund. I've been like listing stuff a little bit more, because I think that like for the last month I've been testing a philosophy of like, I've been identifying what I felt like were undervalued projects with like thin floors, and then all of a sudden you see them go shoot, and it's become very intuitive to me that like there are some projects out there, even with the run up that we've seen in the last 2 weeks, that are still what I would consider a relatively good value. And depending on whether your intent is to hold long term or increase your bag in terms of ETH, I mean there's real opportunity.
Thoughts on this Art Blocks drop, and then I want to make sure we hit, if you have them top of mind, like some big sales from the past week and any noteworthy stuff going on. This feels like a continuation, or it's actually kind of like at least in the short term, a change of direction for Art Blocks doing the physical stuff, like we saw with the who's the artist, MCause?
Yeah, MP-Cause. So a few weeks back, a month, maybe 4 to 6 weeks ago, that awesome physical NFT drop. I didn't know, this was not on my radar, dude. This was nowhere. I didn't know this was coming. And I saw Iskra. I saw her drop. That showed up on my timeline. I'm like, that's beautiful. Oh my God. And just realizing they're continuing that, the small limited edition physical drops. And then when I go to explore her collection, I see it's not just her. It's Zach Lieberman. It's a handful of other amazing artists that, God, if you're not familiar with these three, they're amazing. Iskra, Lars, and Zach. Zach in particular is my favorite out of the three. Does some incredible art with light, and is incredibly talented when it comes to the way he is able to capture light in his art. part of this doesn't even do it justice. That he had a man, it was like maybe close to a year ago. He had a big project that like had like physical like installations. It was like
No shit.
mind-blowingly good. So yeah, he's a very talented artist. These three in particular, I don't know if they've ever had an Art Blocks project.
I've never seen
So
very
it's
many of them.
yeah, I mean Lars has like some really great work on FX Hash.
Opportunity there,
you
by
know,
the way, guys. The FX Hash stuff, all these artists and many other of the biggest artists out there have some of their Genesis pieces over on FX Hash, and they're
it's
not
going to be one of
expensive. And
my daily discussions. Like it's insane. Like
don't do it.
I'm trying to unearth some FX Hash gems because it's like, but like Lars did some great stuff with like Bright Moment or not. Sorry, Zach with Bright Moments and some independent drops. Like Iskra's, like a lot of Iskra stuff is like on FX Hash too, right? Very talented artist that has like a lot of like really great stuff. So yeah, I'm super stoked on this. Like I said, I really like Zach's stuff.
Yeah, and it's honestly the physical that does it for me more than the digital one. There's something about that, just having something you can touch that is unique to you and just looks so cool. It just looks so cool. I think I love Zach's, but this might be my favorite of the three here. Just something about.
So it's funny. I like Zach's digital most, but I like Iskra's physical, if that makes any sense. And by the way, when I was in Marfa, like I got to see a lot of some of MP Cause's lamps. He had them made already, and I mean, I got to talk to Eric, and like his lamp was there, and so we were like talking about it and what it represents. But yeah, I think Art Blocks is very clear that this is the direction that they've decided to go in, and they. While and like I know some artists that are like dropping some stuff in the future that's not public. So like the intent is to have a physical component to the digital art and to create that connectivity to your art for sure.
So this is not a short-term thing. Like this is like, for a few months, this part of the year, whatever. This is what we're doing. Is this a new like long-term? This is kind of what Art Blocks will be known for?
For the foreseeable future, yeah. I mean, it's not to say they won't pivot at some point, but like, yeah, I mean, again, I know some other shit that they're doing. It's like insane.
Oh, that's so cool. No, it makes sense because you do open this up to a whole other market now. People who maybe are still not sold on NFTs, or it's just for whatever. The physical stuff does click and resonate with people a little differently still. I like it, dude. I didn't know that. I thought it was just like
I do too.
Here's our thing.
My hope is that it does expand the market. Like I think it is the red pill to get people into it. I think the problem I have is just like eyes and awareness. So my hope is that the Art Blocks team and such have a bigger reach beyond just the digital space. Because like, when I was talking to Eric, it was like, oh, this is so and so. They're all Web3 personalities that the lamps belong to. It's like I want to see them go other places, right? Like to me, it's about awareness and how do you expand it.
So I'm trying to find Zach's collection. I figured it would be on the top all time, which maybe I skipped it.
I don't know if Zach has done. Lars Wander is for sure there. I don't know if Zach's done a lot.
Maybe no, you're right. Maybe Zach didn't do an FX Hash drop. It would have been
Iskra for sure and Lars for sure.
Wait, hang on. Now I think he did a collab. Let me. Sorry, but I gotta figure this out. It should be damn near the top. Well, let's search. That's probably not right. Yeah, there it is.
You're right.
And that was with Iskra.
With Iskra.
Yeah.
It's
a very cool collection. I mean, that is not a crazy floor price for a collab between those two.
It's not.
There's just such cool opportunity. This is still a big. Actually, I'm closing this. I don't want to steal thunder from your video, but there's some cool shit there, man. Okay. Not financial advice, but go do some digging over there before Jared puts out his video, because he's going to get some art attention on that stuff, and there's some crazy awesome stuff over there.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me is like, as much as I love FX Hash and Tesos art, like how much of it will spill over from like the ETH ecosystem. And I think what's going to have to happen is you're going to have to see like floors of like, you know, art blocks. Like Mapon is one of my favorite artists, William Mapon, for those who aren't familiar. His Genesis drop is on. You may want to keep that screen up for RD for a little bit because we got to talk about a couple big art sales. I'm a little biased on this week or today's announcement, but like the Dragons is his first long form release on FX Hash. And it's always traded less than Anticyclones. But what I've been tracking is like usually when Dragons balloons up, or sorry, when Anticyclones balloon up, then usually it pulls up Dragons. And I'm curious to see like what I've collected a ton of Dragons, full disclosure. My bags are like incredibly loaded. My general philosophy is that like there's gonna be a future state where nobody goes, oh, is that a ETH based Mapon art? It's just gonna be Mapon, right? And I think that there's something. Now look, I don't think that like just because it's the first, it means it's the most influential, right? Like because if you look at like Picasso, like his first works sell for a significant discount to Cubism. His Blue Period sells at a discount to Cubism. Like there's, it's not to say it's first means it makes it, but I just think that there's a really entry for an entry point, relatively speaking, and especially if you want some Mapon exposure. And that's my whole point of this Tesos thing is like, I'm not saying it's going to make you a millionaire. I'm not saying it's the only thing in the best investment. I just think that like there's some really great art and people were experimenting over here. And there's really like it's a fun place to look around.
I would love to see them recapture that magic again. I don't know if they will. There's
I don't
always a
think they
chance.
will. I honestly don't think so. I think that the question, because what it was is it was a fun place to experiment, and like with Shape, I think Shape's trying to be that, and a couple other L2s. I think they're kind of trying to be that, and then, you know, I mean, Han behind Shape is just such an influential figure. He'll be able to pull people into kind of into that ecosystem.
Dude, there's a fucking Zancan mint dropping in 30 minutes.
It's actually kind of cool.
Little Pepe in there? Come on, that's
yeah.
Cool. Huh? I didn't know that was happening. I mean,
I didn't either.
God damn it.
And that's just the thing is like there's not enough eyes on Tez work right now.
No, dude, we've got to find this link. Maybe it's dropping right on object.com. Tez Pepe. That's so cool. All right, on the side, I'll be looking for that. Let's hit the Roger Dickerman report. Sounds like there's something a little spicy there, so I'm excited to hear your thoughts.
No, just a little bit of self-promotion. If you scroll up to the top, I had one of my biggest purchases occurred yesterday. So it's shit. So you know, I had teased out a large one-of-one acquisition, and that's essentially what it was. So
okay, let me see if I can pick it out because I saw this. Boom.
It's the upper right there.
Okay, let me go to your profile so we can do it justice here. It's beautiful. And you'll have to share the story about it. Okay.
While you're pulling it up, I'll talk about it. So I collect one-of-ones, ironically not for myself, but for my wife. The big caveat here is she doesn't know I'm collecting them for her. So what I do is this one's actually titled "The Good Left Undone," which is actually a Rise Against song where I pulled the lyrics from. So there's a series of lyrics that I give to each artist with zero input, zero like creative direction. I just say, hey, here's the prompt, whatever comes to mind. Like we agree on price and I'll buy it. And this is what came of it. So it's a fun series that I hope to collect over a long duration and be able to partner with some like really, really amazing artists. And one of the things that I loved with this being for my wife, one of the things that I loved about Dangi's art is that his commitment to kind of this like romanticism in a cyberpunk future reality. Like, and there's just something so beautiful about it. All of his pictures just feel like oddly familiar, yet futuristic. So anyways, I'm proud of it. It's a little bit of a bragging moment. I try not to dive too much into the ecosystems, but I like to say this is the one-of-one that my XRP bag bought.
Oh, that's so fucking cool. Oh, I love that. And that's a great example of how this stuff wins elsewhere that you're not a part of kind of do cycle back and they materialize other ways and all that good stuff. It's beautiful, dude. And I remember this is the one you talked about commissioning, or is this separate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the commission one.
That's so cool. Dude, congrats. A beautiful freaking piece. In I'm assuming the Forever collection or a long,
It's the
long
Forever
time.
collection. Until maybe I pass away, my wife's like, fuck this stuff. I'm getting rid of it.
Oh, that's fucking funny. Dude, really cool. Really cool. Congrats on that. Really,
Thank you.
really awesome. Damn,
But yet, now that my little moment's gone, I think just overall the art market's pretty impressive, honestly. I'm really amused with the amount of sales that are occurring. I mean, everything from, there was just another, the one of 15 Doomed, the red outline, sold, I think, for like 25 ETH recently.
Oh, wow.
Dude, you saw Winds of Yawanawa just going like a fucking manic run
Not
this week.
surprised, man. Not surprised at all.
I'm not surprised either, but it's still one of those things that it's like, I mean, people right now the floor is down to 10.5 ETH, and they were at 6, and it's just like it's interesting to see that. And same thing with Fidenzas. I mean, I'm looking at the top sales of the week. It's like the top on my screen 6, 7, 8, 9. Top 9 of the 10 sales on article are Fidenzas, right? Like you saw that run from 30 to 60 ETH floor. So I mean, it's and even Chromie Squiggles, right? Like they're up 30% on the floor value and with 52 sales in the last week. So there's just something like, oh, and then punks, Jesus, like somebody went on a cowboy hat streak. I mean, there was like, I'm serious. Like it's funny what people,
those ones in particular, yeah.
But it's funny what people collect. I mean, just in the last 7 days, there's 7 sales, 8 sales of punks with cowboy hats, and it drove the floor up from 55 ETH all the way up to like one sold for 85.
There's your top sales in the past week, and it's like all of the top ones or most of them. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then like the 5 or 6 trait punk that's very unassuming sells for 125 ETH, and it's like, hey, I think that there's this like concept of adjacency that I'm like becoming very, very fast with. Like everybody knows there's only one 7 trait punk, and that's seed phrases, right? But what they don't know is there's only 11 6 trait punks, which again, like, is that meaningful? Who knows? You know, if seed phrase never sells his 7 trait, does that become more desirable? You know, like I just think it's interesting what becomes like around collectability. And so like these people paying up for what they perceive as grails are really intriguing to me. So again, I'm not saying this is the be all end all or go out there and pay up for this stuff, but I mean punks in ETH and USD terms. I mean, to come full circle back to what Raoul Paul said, you know, everybody was like, you know, a couple months ago, they're like, fucking Raoul Paul, like he talks about NFTs as like leveraged ETH bets. Everything's down in ETH terms. Well, guess what? Now everything's up in ETH terms, and they're up in USD terms, and you're going to see something just like a mad rush to some of this. It's going to be interesting.
People are very short-sighted, and I'm reminded of that all the time with comments like that. I see it right now with Murad, and everybody's dunking on Murad because his meme coins and the things he shills are down. They are, or at least not performing as well as the other stuff. And I think, and I don't even care. I've got really no vested interest in them doing well, but I think he's right. I think he's smart. I think he sees things. He talks in like meme coin culty terms of what Raoul Powell talks about in a more sophisticated way, but they have the same message as far as how big it's all growing. If Bitcoin grows the way Raoul Powell says it is, meme coins grow the way Murad says it's going to grow. It's all the same thing. Raoul Powell's right, and I think Murad's right, and the same thing of people shit talking it right now will change their tune. I love when that happens, by the way. It's you know, kind of sometimes just an I told you so thing, and so those guys deserve to say that at that point.
The one thing, and I hate to be like the wet blanket over here, but one of the things that I will just say is like be mindful of